Welcome to the podcast with your favorite cash flow guys, Mike and Blaine, giving you the best advice while having a beer. When you're running a business, there are problems every day. Let Mike and Blaine help you out and guide your way. Cheers to the good times with Mike and Blaine for business, beer, and BS.
Hey, it's episode 156. I am Mike Mylan. That is Blaine Birch, and you are listening to Mike and Blaine. This is one of the best podcasts ever because, A, it's my birthday, right? So we're recording this thing on my birthday, and it's going to be great. But Blaine Birch is the CEO and founder of Dry Run, the best cash flow forecasting software on the planet. What's up, man?
We are doing something a little different this time. Before we get to the beer, because we have beer every single episode, we got our beer sponsors and everything, because it's your birthday, we are going to introduce a new little birthday thing here with a little taste of some scotch here, a little whiskey. I'm not sure what you got going, but I got a little scotch.
If you're the other Mike Mylan, you know exactly where I'm going. You know exactly. If you listen to this episode or these podcasts in the past, you know that there is another Mike Mylan out there we call him Baltimore Mike. And he and I become fast friends, and we have a traveling decanter, right? A bourbon. Mm-hmm. Because he's a Baltimore Ravens fan. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And when they play, we have nicknamed that game the Mike Mylan Bowl. And to show you what we got here, here's the decanter that travels between. I've only had this a year. He's had it every other year, ever since it's happening. 2011 is when this thing started, right? When we started talking about it. I've never had it. So he sent it to me
with KC, but anyway.
Yeah, he sent it to me. Look, it's got MM on the back for Mike Mylan's, but he puts in it. He's the one, because it's the first time it ever traveled, he put Traveler's bourbon in there, right? It's Chris Stapleton's whiskey, so I'm going to have a little bit of that in honor of the Mike Mylans and the Mike Mylan Bowl, which, by the way, is the first game of the season in the NFL for the Chiefs and the Ravens. We're playing right off the bat, so I might have to ship this back. might have to ship it back right off the bat.
You might have to drink fast.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I am, we always feature beer, but because I'm having a little bit of scotch in honor of your birthday, I'm going to actually feature a distillery. And this is actually a bit of a newer distillery, but I believe it's still independent. And this is the Ardnamurchan AD. And it is a terrific scotch, and actually especially bang for your buck. It's not like a cheap bottle of scotch, but it's not ridiculously expensive for the quality. It is an outstanding distillery. That was a great bottle of scotch. So in honor of your birthday, I'm drinking scotch too. So happy birthday, bro.
Okay, so I didn't know we were drinking whiskey for this, so I actually brought a beer though.
I got a beer too. I'm just doing a little tiny toast. I'm doing both. I have a little tiny toast, a little bit of whiskey, and then I'll switch over to beer. Yeah.
54 years. And
54.
156 sessions with you.
156. So this has been a fun time. So happy birthday, man. And we'll dive into a beer in a minute here. But
yeah, there you go. All right, so we got some beer sponsors, though. And I'll tell you what, I just went over to neighbor Pat's house. I went over today to return a growler because I figured out if I return an empty one, he always gives me a full one. It's the best thing ever. It's like
nice.
I just give him an empty growler and he fills it up and brings it back. But
that's good stuff.
Hey, he's planning a pool right now, and he's got some of the most fantastic plans for his backyard. I'm envious. He's shown me these things. He's got 3 different options. He's collecting bids. This guy is transforming his backyard, and it's 2 doors down. So I'm going to get to take part in it for sure. 2 doors down. He's going to make an oasis back there you won't believe. So I always appreciate you. I know I give you the most hell of anybody on this podcast, but I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, always love hearing my neighbor Pat and seeing pictures and seeing video and everything else. Thanks so much, Pat. I'm going to dive in. Oh, okay. So we're doing our beer sponsors, but I do have a beer, so I'm going to talk about my beer after as well. But you already mentioned Baltimore Mike. other Mike Milan. Thanks again. Mike is also a beer sponsor all the way through the end of the year. So thanks again, Mike. We just appreciate you so much and you keeping us flush in beer. And I'm also going to dive in on Larry Weinstein, the cash flow cowboy that you were telling me about last week. Cash flow cowboy, Larry Weinstein, CPA in Houston. And need help with your accounting, with your cash flow, go talk with Larry.
Yeah, and then Rachel Barnett. If we're talking accounting, we're talking small business, we're talking about finances. Mm-hmm. Rachel Barnett will get your QuickBooks not only in order, she's going to teach you how to do it, how to understand it, how to work with it, right? I mean, it's just one of those things where if you want anything about QuickBooks, Gentle Frog is the name of her company. Gentle Frog, and her name's Rachel Barnett. Go see her.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a quick note on the topic today before I show the beer that I got cooking here.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you're the one that wrote the description, so you tell me a little bit about the topic.
All right. So here's the topic, right? So the topic is about why does it take something to happen for us to reconnect? And I'm gonna tell you what, and it came because I've had such an awesome day, such an amazing day. The text, the calls, the comments, the everything. People were just coming out of the woodwork, and I know how good I feel with just one call. I'm overwhelmed with the support. I really am. So I want to talk about why does it take that? Why does it take that? And I want to talk about businesses that only do it on those times too. Should we do it more? Is it better? Is it worse? What are the things that we're looking at when we reconnect with others?
Exactly. Yeah. So in honor of that topic, and also because it's your birthday, so we're doubling down today. I brought in Cabin's Super Love.
Super Love.
So that's what we're talking about today. That is how you roll. And so Cabin Brewing in Calgary, Super Love.
Hey, speaking of Super Love, you see my hat, right?
Mozzie.
Now this is like that popular style. Everybody has different hats like that. I'm like going, all of them don't match me. You know who matches me? Mozzie over there. That's who matches me. I'm going to make a hat. So this is embroidered. This is actually an embroidered picture. This is a picture I sent a company. I said, I want embroidery of my dog, right? I want embroidery of it and got his name up there. So I'm representing Mozzo today, on my birthday, but because he's the guy that gives me a lot of joy in my life. He really does.
Awesome.
But I also have a beer, right?
Yeah.
It's a Houston-based beer. It's out of Spindle Tap, is the brewery, Spindle Tap. But I don't know. There was something about turning 54. I turned 54 today. There was something about it. I was just like going, everything I've done in my life, from being a state trooper, from being in the Army, from being a paratrooper, from being, from being who we are today, this one hit me. Freedom juice. Come on, look at that. Look at the abs on that eagle, right? Look at the abs on the eagle. Right?
That is beautiful.
That is, I'm like going, oh yeah, of course, we're going freedom juice today. So that's just the way I felt. I felt happy. I felt like alive. I felt free. So that spoke to me in the aisle today.
Beauty. Love it.
So that's pretty dumb, right? So, but if you've never heard this show before, this is what we're about. This is Mike and Blaine, business, beer, and BS. And what we're talking about is this: anything that comes to mind that's relevant, that's hitting you today, the way you run your business. We always try to help you in something that you're talking about in your business today, because that's how we develop the topics. The reason why we're talking about this is it happened today. Matter of fact, within an hour of this call, this topic was developed.
Yeah.
Think about it. You and I were just on a call. I'm like going, why is this? I just asked you a question like, we should talk about that on the podcast.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I'm really excited about our brand as Mike and Blaine, because that's what we've done. I told somebody today, Blaine, that we did 156 episodes, and they were what? Like surprised, shocked. I'm going, you did that? He goes, that's like 3 years. I'm like going, what's 4 calendar years, right? Because the way that we're in our 4th season.
Yeah.
But that's what makes me think that this is something special. It's lasted 4 years and we're still here, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you too, man. And what is amazing to me is we are getting close. Okay, we might actually celebrate that. We are getting fairly close to a half of year of days in a row. Like, can you imagine that? Like, when we get to 182 or 183, we'll literally pass like a half a year of, like, if we were talking every day, it would take a half a year to get there. That's how many episodes we've had. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah. That's a lot of fun. Just, yeah, tickled.
I think people were amazed when they go, you did 100 and some episodes? Yeah. And I've seen people right on their phone, right in front of me, go, I'm going to subscribe. I'm going to like, I'm going to listen. I'm going to buy merch. We had, Baltimore Mike's trying to buy merch today off of our website. I mean, it's just like going, it's crazy stuff how this has happened. And I'm going to tell you this, all the pundits out there that are talking about you have to do X, Y, and Z, we did none of that.
Zero. Yeah.
Like, we didn't advertise. We didn't buy followers. We didn't do hashtags. We didn't do great descriptions. We didn't do any of this. We're here today for sheer will that we want to make this work.
Yeah. And you know what? I will say that you mentioned the pundits. This is a topic for down the road. It might even be next week, but I will say a few times that sometimes where I've found the most success is by doing opposite of what the so-called experts think you should do. And it's basically the purple cow philosophy. So you drive by a field of cows, you want to be the purple one that stands out because you got a whole field that all look the same, right? But what's happening now is it's kind of the opposite. Is everybody's trying to be outrageous or do this or do that. They all follow the leader. And what you have is an entire field of purple cows, and you want to be the white one that stands out. And so it's really interesting to kind of look at how some of these things work. But what I love about the topic today is this is down to the absolute foundation of business. It's down to the absolute fundamentals, and it's also down to what I am doing a lot more of now than I was probably a year or two ago, because COVID changed things and you're kind of stuck inside and all that. And I'll tell you, getting back to talking to people, following up with friends, following up with contacts regularly, and sometimes ones that I haven't seen in years, has just transformed my days and transformed our funnel and everything, because that's what so much of business is about. I don't care how much AI they talk about, business is still based on relationship.
Yeah. So all this started with really a phone call last night. This is, because all of our topics kind of come out of whatever we're dealing with.
This sounds like the start of a country song. It all started with the phone call last night.
Oh my God. If I could play the guitar, that would be a great song. But all right. So Joel, a high school friend, a great high school friend, calls me out of the blue. Now, Joel and I talk a little bit on social media, and I'm going to tell you what, one of the great connectors in the internet age is social media. You can downplay it all you want to. You can say it's just garbage. You can say it ruins your life, but it also has connected people on a different level. I don't know how many 40, 50-year-olds haven't tried to find an old friend with social media. Right? They're going, where the fuck that guy go? So this guy who we've talked briefly, we met in person maybe 10 years ago, maybe a little bit sooner than that, but 10 years ago, out of the blue, picks up the phone. He went 1900s on us, picked up the phone and called me. And I'm like going, holy shit, that's the best thing ever. I told somebody today, I'm like going, I'm not good at social media. I'm not good at memes and all this type of stuff, but goddamn it, I'm good on the phone. Call me. And we talked for an hour, right? When was the last time you felt comfortable talking to somebody for an hour on the phone?
On the phone, it doesn't happen. This is so
It
long.
does
So
not
long.
happen. We don't do it anymore, right? So that's kind of what happened with us. It's like it just was a conversation that evolved and went, and just all of a sudden it's like 45, 50 minutes later, and you're like going, oh, dude, shouldn't I gotta go to bed? That's how it happened.
Yeah. And it's so funny because like if my phone rings, like I have everything basically blocked. So if my phone rings, and it comes through, it's got to be someone that I know, a friend, or it's basically my parents or my in-laws. That's kind of all, right? And if I look at the phone and it's like someone I know that's not my parents or my in-laws, I'm like, holy shit, this is a real phone call. Hey, you almost don't know what to do. You're like fumbling with it. Got to answer the phone because like nobody ever calls. Like nobody phones. Text messages, hell yeah, but people don't phone, and I appreciate it, but I never think to just phone somebody. And why not? We should, right?
Yeah. First of all, most of my phone calls that come in, I don't know what Apple's done, and maybe it's my friends are sketchy, but they all say scam likely.
Maybe they're right. Maybe Apple's right. It's like, yeah, well, I know the guy, but yeah, scams likely. Watch
out, Mike. Watch out, Mike. That's gotta be the dumbest thing I've said on the podcast. So anyway, all of them say that. So when I do really see a name, somebody that's in my contact list, somebody that I really care about pop up, damn straight I'm answering it. Matthew Fulton, right? I mean, he doesn't listen to the podcast. He didn't even know we had one until today. He's the one that says, you got 155 episodes. Like, yeah. Matthew Fulton today calls me out of the blue just to say happy birthday. Not a text, not a meme, not a whatever on social media. He picked up his phone and called. And I'm just like going, why are we not doing more of that? Why are we not connecting more like that? Because I know the way I felt. I know the way it made me feel.
That's a good question. And now I feel a little bit like guilty that I...
No, I feel guilty. Dude, I never do that. I get called out on this all the time. Like going, oh, Blaine Birch is calling me. Well, if I do it, we're going to get feedback. But yeah.
I'm assuming we will. Let's give it a go.
Right, we'll
curious what happens. I'm also curious what happens feedback with.
Hi, this is Mike.
Happy birthday.
Oh my God, I can't believe you called. I can't believe you. Oh my, this is one of the best things. I got goosebumps just from you talking to me. That's what I look. Oh my God, that's what I look like on TV.
Okay, well, I'll look with that. It was dumb, but anyway. There, I made a phone call. That's the first phone call I made in like probably years.
This is gonna be the best episode ever. By the way, if you want to buy us a beer, because it seems like we need one,
head over to mikeandblaine.com and you know what? If you could even buy us a bottle of scotch. You just have to like, instead of buying one beer, buy like 10 and say it's for scotch.
Oh my God.
We'll get a bottle. So, because that might be the issue. We got a couple things mixed in here today, but that's okay. That's birthday time now.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go. Okay. So on this topic, it was really interesting because very topical, because you've had people calling you, reaching out to you and everything. And I went out for a drink with a friend of mine yesterday. And the reason is because I was on LinkedIn one day. I just saw his picture float by, and also went, oh shit, I haven't talked with him in a long time, probably before COVID. That's what I was thinking, right? So send him a text. We go for a beer yesterday, and then we're talking. We're like, geez, we haven't done this in a few years. When was the last time we sat down and chatted? And he looked in his calendar to 2016. I'm like, no, there's no way. My calendar is probably more accurate. So I look at my calendar, 2016. I'm like, that's quite embarrassing. This should have been last year. And that's like freaking 8 years. And it just absolutely blew me away. And so when you brought up this topic today, I'm all in, because I'm like, I've reached out to people this year more than I have in a long time. And it's before COVID, you go down to Arizona and you follow up with a bunch of people, and I come back to Edmonton, of course, born and raised, run a business here forever. And by the time I got back, I remember I'd always have every year 40 or 50 people that I had to connect with as soon as I get home, that they're already booking times or already meeting. And the first 3 months I'm home, every other day I'm out having a beer or a coffee with someone and catching up. And then the last few years, it's just like, no. And so this year I've started that up again, and it's been so incredibly worthwhile, as first of all, overall, just being able to catch up with people I really enjoy catching up with. But there's also this place where you go catch up with people, and a lot of them, of course, are entrepreneurs or in business or whatever. And there's also this side benefit on the business side, right? And it's just it's so powerful to talk with people in person, catch up with them, and not just send them an email, right?
Yeah, I've got to tell you, the energy is so much different. Just an in-person meeting, just a phone call, even this. I mean, Blaine, we don't see each other in person, but if once a year, if once a year. But the energy is always so much different between now and then, right? And there's a difference. I got to ask the question, though. Maybe other people were thinking this. Do all Canadians log all their meetings? So you're like, I ain't talked to you since 2016. How'd you guys know that? Both of you had the same calendar invite. Like, maybe all Canadians log all their meetings and interaction between everybody.
Well, I don't know about my buddy, but me, I know that if it's not on my calendar, I'm not going to be there, because my calendar.
Yeah, but you're not going to log. You're not going to log every phone call. I mean, I got the phone call last night. It's not on my calendar.
No, not a phone call. This was the last time we went out for a beer. This is the last time we met. So because I had to go somewhere, can't forget to go, it was in my calendar, and it turned out it was in his as well. So, but if I go back, I bet you I could go back 15, 20 years, and I have stuff in my calendar, because even up to today, if it's not my calendar, I'm probably not going to be there, because like this week, I had 11 meetings. I was just looking at them today. I'm like, shit, it's been a busy week. I had 11 meetings already, not counting this and going out with, friends and everything. It's just, if it's not my calendar, I'm lost. So I could go back. Now, there's a chance that there was somewhere in there we met, but I doubt it, because I have to put in my calendar or I won't show up. I won't remember.
Yeah. All right, so
my memory isn't that good.
Hey, so in the title, it may be changed by the time it hits YouTube, but what was it? Cakes, caskets, and ketchups. Right?
I didn't read it. I didn't read it. I didn't read the topic today because he told me what it was going to be. So I just went, yeah, I'm good.
No, but I thought that was super clever. I mean, because in my family, a lot of times, I don't see you unless it's a wedding or a birthday, which is a cake, or it's somebody has passed, so it's a casket, or it's just a random checkup. Growing up, here's what changed in my life that I didn't realize changed till this week. We used to have once a year family reunions, right? Where everybody would come in. I don't care where you lived in the world, you would come in because your life wasn't so busy that you couldn't. Right? I look at my calendar now. I'm like going, fuck, I'm traveling almost every other week. I can't just drop into a family reunion unless I plan for it 6 or 8 months in advance, because I'm already booking trips till January now. I'm already booking trips in January.
Yeah, exactly. Like we were at a wedding just last weekend, just a small one. Actually, my cousin's kids love them to death. Got married in Hawaii, and then they had a little family get together when they got home. And so it was so great, because it's like they don't live far away. We should be talking with them way more often. And it was just like yeah, it's like that's what got us together. And but we do have family reunions every once in a while, like every 2 or 3 years. And I'm so glad that some of my extended family actually plan this stuff, because we actually had a family reunion, not this summer, but last summer. And I remember when we were young, like in our teens and 20s and stuff, we used to be together with the family all the time, and we would play football, we would play baseball, we would just play like the fly ball. I don't even remember what we called it, but you hit with someone hits and everyone's catching, and they get points for catching the ball. And then so we decided, well, we have to do that. We're at the family reunion, so we went out in a big field, and then found out that none of us are 20 years old anymore, and you could barely hit a ball, barely catch a ball, could barely throw the ball. Shoulder was sore. It was like if it didn't land, if it wasn't coming right to you, no one was moving. Then you wander over and pick it up, and it was like, oh my God, when did we get old? Because it used to be full contact to catch a ball, like tackling everything, and someone would be like, I got it, and now it's just like, yeah, no, I have to take a step to the left. I think I'll just let that land in the grass. It was quite embarrassing how bad we were. My one cousin's husband was the one guy that was actually still kind of young, and he's in the military, so he's in shape. And we're just like, yeah, let's get Nathan to run for everything, because he's the only one that could move still.
Trust me, at 54, I used to be able to do almost anything. It seemed like I was like invincible, like Spider-Man. I'll say that. I think I was Spider-Man. Now I'm like going, I don't want to pick that up. I wake up sore, dude. I wake up from a fucking bed sore. I'm like going,
yeah.
These bones don't work.
Okay, we got a new T-shirt. I got to make a new T-shirt. It's going to be used to could.
Used to could. Yeah.
That'll be our new T-shirt. Used to could.
All right. So, and the theme song we use is "I Ain't As Good As I Once Was" by Toby Keith.
There we go.
Have you heard that song?
No. I listen a little country, but not that much. Yeah.
No, go look at after this episode. Go look at Toby Keith's "I Ain't As Good As I Once Was."
I have to write that down, or I'll never forget.
Because he talks about, hey, he used to be able to fight. He used to be able to hang out with girls. He used to be able to, do all these things. And he says, I'm not as good as I once was, but here's the kicker, right? I'm as good once as I ever was. Which means you can't do it. And I'm like, that's fucking deep. That's really a deep poetic thing. It's like going, well, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good at once as I ever was.
Okay. Because you pay the piper when you
that's right. You pay it right afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I felt that the last few years. My 30-kilometer-hour skateboard wipeout was one of them.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, if you do not want to pay the piper, if you want to always know what's happening in your business, if you want to know what's going to happen next and see into the future, you need to get Dry Run. And the best person I know to talk about Dry Run and their cash flow forecasting software is Blaine Birch. Blaine?
Especially if you are in a spreadsheet dealing with cash flow. And I'm talking complicated cash flow, because that's what I think a lot of the like we talk with CFOs every day, and it usually is CFOs, to be honest, almost always CFOs. And if you are in a spreadsheet doing cash flow and you're a CFO doing either fractional work for businesses or even an internal to your business, you are wasting a ton of time and you're having to struggle talking with the management team, and we'll take care of that. We will save you a ton of time. And the more complex, the more complicated it is, the more locations you have and currencies and people involved. We will help you with that, and we will transform your cash flow so everyone will know exactly where you're at, exactly what you're looking at, and it's going to be easy and ridiculously fast compared to what you're doing right now. So come and see us at dryrun.com, and we will show you what we can do.
And I've got to tell you, I actually got an inside look at you and Tarek, right, as your co-founder, of how they work together. this is a team that is focused on making every single detail right. So I don't care how complex you are. If there's something that seems a little bit askew, they will figure it out. They will spend any amount of time to make sure it's right. So your cash flow forecast is very important to Dry Run. I want you to go over there and take advantage of what they have to offer.
And we will also reach out to Cashflow Mike to come and help us when we have a problem. And it's like, our head's going to explode. And so we know we really appreciate the help today, actually.
Right, so it took me half an episode to reach Freedom Juice.
Freedom Juice, yeah. Oh, yeah, because you poured a stiff one there. I was just doing a little toast to you, but you had a stiff one going there. So.
Well, I didn't know. I thought, I'm going to go. Yeah, it's my birthday.
It's your birthday. You're good. You're good to go. I have a feeling that this is a little stronger. So when it says strong beer on the can, I'm like, okay, that's probably it. Better just take her easier with today.
All right. So because of this phenomenon about trying to reconnect with people and trying to also say, is it right for business or not? I ran across a couple of articles that I thought were cool. One is about a funeral home where they reach back out on the anniversary of the death of whoever died.
Sounds
but it basically was saying, hey, listen, it was a very polite, how does a funeral home reconnect with customers? How do they say, hey, because they're customers, you have to go somewhere to get this happen. So how do you reconnect?
I don't know. Do they want to say, we just want to be top in mind and say in case someone else pops off? Like, that just seems like really, I don't know. I don't think I'd want to hear from the funeral home, to be honest. Like, I almost think I'd value them more if I don't hear from them. You know?
Yeah, but how do you choose? If there's 5 of them in your county, does it matter? Because you got to remember, they're still a business. They're still competing for you. That's why I said cakes, caskets, and ketchups. And we're talking about all of them today, but caskets, that's when we reconnect back with family.
Yeah,
a lot of times, sometimes
it's true, and it's really, and because everyone that goes to a funeral will probably say the same thing. It's like, man, we should be getting together and not over this, right? But that's what happens. That's what happens.
And that lasts a week. You and I both agree that it lasts about a week, and then you go back to your chaotic life.
Yeah. It's completely true. It's completely true. And in fact, I distinctly, now that you mention it, a cousin of mine that I hadn't seen in probably 10 years, or longer, which is ridiculous to me because he's in the same province and we grew up together to some degree, and we saw each other quite often. Didn't see each other for ages, and then we went out for dinner. Whole family was there. We had just a blast, and I said we should meet in the middle. We should go for dinner. Meet with the middle. Get your brothers. Get everyone. Let's go and have dinner. And then I forgot that I should actually. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to phone because we're on a call, but I'm going to text him. You're going to carry this for a second because I'm actually going to text him and say, because now this is top of mind. This is literally top of mind. And I'm going to set that up right now in honor of the show.
Oh, Pat says, is this what it's like to watch a drunk call?
Yes.
Hey, it's probably our best episode ever, Pat.
Probably. Hey, Pat, how come you're listening but you're not chatting on Facebook or LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Like, our live stream is a little bit quiet today, so hey.
It's fun. All right, so I'm glad you're out there with doing that, but let's think about it. All right, so I read an article about a wedding company, a catering company that was sending invites out to married couples on their anniversary saying, hey, wouldn't it be nice to redo your vows, renew your vows. What do you think of that? That's reconnecting on the anniversary, and you're only doing it because it's an occurrence, right? That's the whole topic of it. The podcast is it's a recurrence.
Yeah, like I get it, but I'll be honest with you. If someone emailed or texted, sent to me, it's like, "Do you want to renew your vows?" No, we got married once. We're still married. It's going great. I do not need to pay you to. I know lots of people do it, but like my wife and I know both of us are like, we're still married. We don't got. Like, yeah, no, fine. We're good. Like I don't, especially to. Yeah.
All right. So how often is too often? Well, I mean, we haven't talked about that. It's like going, all right. So because we're on one side versus the other. What's one versus the other?
It's all context, I think. So, because again, we mentioned earlier in the show the experts, and the experts, they just like hammer them 5 times in a row over 2 weeks. No, like know your customer, know your potential customer. What makes sense to them, not you. What makes sense to them, right? And like if you're, if you're a realtor, you do not need to be bugging me every week. Like if the house wasn't for sale last week, it probably isn't this week. But if you wait too long, you might miss that gap. You might miss that window. So I think the pace is about your customer. Now that's only on the customer side. That's only if you're doing sort of that lead generation or business development side. But man, if you're just getting together with contacts and friends and that, there's no rule. There's no rule. Like you know how often you should connect, I think, with people, because it just depends. And use your judgment. Trust your judgment. Don't trust the blog you read on the internet.
All right. So, but you've worked with people in the past, right? So, isn't there times when you don't see them, don't work with them, but you only see them during work events? I'm talking about, especially when you're in remote work, right? Which is, hey, we're spread out across the country. We only get together once a year. Is that really the only time we talk?
Well, in person, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where the energy happens, right? Is that we're together, we're in person. Usually, if we're in the same office, we build some type of relationship. I can't do it remotely. Is the once a year, what happens there?
Yeah, it isn't the same, but I find it's a lot closer, reasonable facsimile in a way. Like it's a lot closer than it used to be. So that because we connect here, like you said, we see each other like maybe once a year. Hopefully we'll see each other this winter. But it feels different with us on a video chat and talking like this than it does certainly with an email, but even a phone call, right? It feels much more in person. Like if I thought about it and you said we haven't seen each other in like however long, I'd be like, no, that can't be right, because we talk all the time and we see each other all the time. So at least it's improved, right? But it does make me think that, like we gotta get my team together.
I've got to tell you though, you and I talking every week like this, it becomes a way more comfortable. I can talk to you like I'm sitting at the bar with you. I don't feel like there's any difference.
No,
with you yeah. Because of the frequency.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
But there's like, it's not like I don't have any other podcasts. Like I'm not talking with anyone else weekly, and
you better not be, because I'm jealous. I'm a jealous podcaster.
Yeah, exactly. But I wouldn't anyway, because it's not the right frequency for us. It's like every week makes perfect sense. With others, it's like, yeah, I got to check in every once in a while. And there's others like, yeah, just like there is a frequency that just kind of makes sense, right? And I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works. But what I will say is, if we err, I think for probably all of us, if we err on any side, it's from not connecting enough. And that's like literally, I sent my cousin a text right now because I'm like, because I thought of it, because we were talking about this. I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta do that, right? Seeing my cousins and my cousins' kids last weekend was really nice. And we saw some friends last weekend we hadn't seen in like literally probably a couple of months. And we're like, we just sort of reached out, and that's the sad part is that you don't even need a phone call. Like the sad part is all it usually takes is just a quick text message to get the ball rolling. That's it. That's literally it. And just, do it.
All right. Right? So in business, though, let's talk about that. In business, how much is too much? How less is not enough?
Yeah. Okay. So depends who it is, right? Is it a networking thing? Is it a potential lead? Do you already have a relationship, or don't you have a relationship? But in any case, you're probably doing it less often, frequency-wise, than you should, with the exception of hammering down on leads that you don't know, and you're listening to the latest blog post that says email the hell out of them till they want you to die. So that's the one exception. If you don't have any relationship and you're just pounding on it, like, I don't think, like, that's not getting you anywhere. I don't think. But with people you know and have relationships with, in a business sense, contacts you have, networks that you have, you're probably not chatting with them enough. And I remember back in my agency days, there was people that I would reach out to, every month. There's people I'd reach out to every couple months. There's people I'd reach out to quarterly. But I don't think I generally ever let it go longer than, like, a potential client that I knew that had a relationship with. We've done work with them before. I don't think we ever went past quarterly till I would reach out and do a coffee or whatever.
Yeah, but that's the thing where you're like going, I don't want to bug you. I don't want to be the person that bugs you in your life. But if we have a relationship already, I have to stay involved. So there's a balance, right, between bugging you and, hey, I'm still here, especially in a professional relationship.
Yeah, and there's just no hard and set rules. Like, trust your gut with that of what makes sense. But think about what makes sense and follow it, because generally it's like you're just probably not reaching out enough. And oftentimes, like, if you have a bit of a relationship, people appreciate it. They want to hear, like, they're excited to hear from you, right? They like that. They like that personal connection. It's probably even more so now, right? Because people are, like, stuck in the basement, working in the basement all the time, right?
Dude, I'm telling you, today was the epiphany. I'm like going, what am I doing? Why am I not doing this? Why am I not reaching out, even to people that can't help me? I still need that connection.
Yeah. It's not about, like, if I can sell to them or not. It's just people you connect with. I find it so amazing, like, people that I just really like, really connect with. And, you want to keep up with friends, of course, and everything, but even from a business perspective, it's just people I really enjoy spending time with, really connect with. Go and have a coffee or a beer with somebody, with no expectation of it's going to turn into something. It's like, no, you know what? What I find is you just go, enjoy your time, have a conversation. And when you do that a bunch of times, some of them just naturally turn into a really good little opportunity. And I'm not going to meet with people. Rarely am I going to meet with people with sort of that potential outcome in mind, unless there's something already going on. It's just literally like, just go and enjoy hanging out with people, and some will turn into something, on the side, right?
Yeah. So if you think about people buy people, not products, if you just think about that, you have to be a person that connects. If you want to sell more, if you want somebody to fall in love with you, it's not because of your money or your house, or whatever. It's people by people. You have to connect. Right. So I think that's what I learned today about this is I have to connect. I have to actually do the work to be a person on the other side. When you talk about connection, there's A and B. I have to be either A or B. I have to be one of those two. It can't just be A always doing the work. A and B have to do the work together.
And I think there's like there has to be someone that takes action. Yeah. And this is the thing is you can have two people that are like would love to get together, but there just has to be someone that actually takes action and starts it, right? Be that person. Don't wait for the other person. Be that person, right? Right
there. Be the person. So let's talk about next week. College football kicks off. I know that's not big to you, but it is me with Baylor, with A&M, with all the college realignment.
University of Alberta Golden Bears. It's not as big here. It's not big at all. So okay.
Sure. Say it again. I'd never heard it before. What happened?
No, that's my alma mater. University of Alberta, and the football team is the Golden Bears. Who my nephew is actually he's a video coach and also coaches I think running backs there, and so he's actually coached for like 10 years. But I'll admit, football is not very big here, like college football. Pro football is not that big here. The only thing that's big here is hockey. And we are in August, and everybody is only talking about hockey. So it's just how it is, right?
But they're talking about the start of hockey, right? It didn't start.
No, what they're talking about, and you will, okay, you're kind of a little bit on the shit list here. What they're talking about the last week or so is St. Louis. And the offer sheet and the two guys that went to St. Louis because they tendered an offer sheet to restricted free agents, that has been a lot of talk this week. I am talking they made a couple trades for guys that you've never heard of. There are articles and conversations about some guy playing on some university team down in the US that might actually make the NHL potentially in like 8 years. And they were talking about it. That's just
yeah, but in St. Louis, they have a rule says if you're not cheating, you're not trying. And if you get caught, you're not trying hard enough.
You think they'd be a little bit better hockey team if that was what they lived by, because they're not very good.
We got that one, Stanley Cup we won a few years back.
That one guy. You have that one guy this year. Remember
that one guy that did that one thing.
Yeah.
But there's a cup in St. Louis. Now, Edmonton's got a few more. I get it.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a drought. It's been a while, so we'll see what happens.
I get it. I mean, there was only like one ring on the when the cup when you guys won it last, right?
Oh, it was 1990, so it's not like it was a while ago. It was a while ago.
It was like a foot tall, not 10 foot tall when you guys won it last.
Probably not 10 feet tall, and yeah, it's been a little while. But we'll see what happens. They've had 2 game 7s in the final round in the finals. Well, 2006 and last year, so we'll see. Who knows, man? It's hard to win. It's really hard to win. So we'll see what happens next year. But
dude,
stupid St. Louis.
The one team I love, that's the one you're going to mess with.
Well, that's the one that literally stole 2 players from the team. I'm just telling you, St. Louis is on every Oiler fan shit list. And you know what was weird? So right after this happened, St. Louis offers contracts to 2 restricted free agents, ends up getting them both basically for free, for virtually nothing, because they overpaid for them. That's just what happens. They overpaid for him. Edmonton's up against the cap, can't pay for him. Same week, 2 days in a row, I talk with people from St. Louis, like 2 CFOs from St. Louis. The second day, I'm like, you guys are on my shit list. That's just how it is. He laughed. He thought it was pretty funny, but I'm like, yeah, that's Canada up here. Like, This is big news up here right now, right?
Hey, I get it. I mean, Canada needs to stick to their knitting. They really do, because I don't care what the contract is, fiddle hopper for this, fiddle hopper for that.
Yeah, I was going to pull that out, but you wedged that in a little sideways there. That was a little bit of a weak attempt there, to be honest. But
what? I'll take that one back. Go ahead. What do you got?
I was just going to say the last thing the Blues have won was a fiddle hopper, and it was probably 20 years ago. But anyway.
No, St. Louis won like 5 years ago.
No, they didn't.
St. Louis Blues won a cup in the last 5 years.
There's zero chance. I will look. I'm going to look it up.
Ask Chelsea. Ask Chelsea. If it's not 5, it's 6, but I think it's 5.
One Stanley Cup. I'm going to check because I have a little bit of beer and a little bit of the last time the Blues won the. What year did the Blues win the Stanley Cup? Oh shit! It was 2019. Are you serious?
I tried to look. I never look.
I was wrong. But 2019 was still 5 years ago. But I was wrong. I did not think it was that recent. But I will admit that I probably quit watching. Because I like, man, once the Oilers are out, I'm like, I'm not watching any more hockey. It's June. I'm not watching. So that was probably.
Hey, so I mean, if this was the Blaine Birch Mike Milan Bowl, I would own the trophy.
Oh yeah, you would, and you might own it for the next 40 years. But we'll see. Team's a little better than they used to be, so we'll see what happens. But we also are scarred here in Edmonton because it's been an awful long drought. So anyway,
that's so funny, man. All right. Hey, if you like what you heard, and I apologize if you didn't, it's my birthday. Come on,
you don't have to listen. It's your birthday.
Yeah, it's my birthday.
Mike's birthday episode. So if you don't like it, you just pretend you do. Like, it's Mike's birthday.
Yeah, it's my birthday. So anyway, go to mikeandblaine.com, and if you want to be a sponsor, buy us a beer. That's all you got to do is click the thing, buy us a beer. It's $5. You get the whole episode. We kind of talk about you, right? It's forever. It's evergreen.
Yeah, exactly. We have 4 beer sponsors right now, and all of them love us so much, or appreciate us so much, or just take pity on us. I'm not sure why, but we've got beer sponsors all the way gone through the end of the year, and you can be that too, or you can sponsor one episode, $5, or you can buy beers $5 a week. It's like the best value for your sponsorship dollars you've ever seen.
There you go.
So next week we're on to 156, I think. Holy smoking hell! Yeah. That's a good number.
I don't think that's a whiskey episode, though.
I think this should probably be the last whiskey episode for a little while. You know what? Maybe the next whiskey episode is 200 because
there you go.
I did really enjoy it, but
yeah, I vote yes. All right.
So,
hey, appreciate you. 156 in the books. We'll talk to you next time.
Check out their website at mikeandblaine.com. Then subscribe to the podcast and buy these guys a beer.